hunt hungry.
Reed, man, I'm super pumped we got to do this. I know we've been talking for a couple of weeks trying to get our schedules lined up, and we finally did it. So you're an Arkansas guy, avid deer hunter, right? Avid archer, right? So
Yes.
I want to start off with just some kind of get to know you, just basic questions, because again, I don't want to have 30 minutes into this and people are like, I don't even know who this is or anything about them. So a little bit just kind of rapid fire, get to know you type stuff. What do you do for work? I said you're an Arkansas guy. What do you do to make a living?
I work as a train conductor for Union Pacific. I've been out there about 15 years, so a lot of traveling. Get to see a lot of country, but schedule's kind of crazy at times.
Yeah, I know some other guys that work on the train stuff, and it is there's pros and cons I hear. So
right, there definitely is. I
noticed on your page, your Facebook group. What's the actual name of this? I don't want to say it wrong. What's the
Arkansas Mobile Hunters?
Arkansas Mobile Hunters. Yeah, if you're not on that, you need to get on that. Lots of good stuff on there. One of the things I like that you do is the cold shooting, like a cold shot at 40 yards. I mean, that's real life. That's deer hunting, right? Yeah. So I think that's really cool. What bow are you shooting right now?
I'm shooting a PSE Omen. I got that bow last year and hunted with it last year, and I'll be using it again this year.
Those bows are fast. I like the PSE Omen. You know how fast yours are shooting?
Yeah, with the arrow setup that I'm going to be shooting this year, I dropped down a little bit in weight. But if I do decide to shoot this arrow combination, I'll be like 315. So it's screaming fast.
That's for shot 3D and total archery challenge and stuff like that. I was shooting like 330, and they were real lightweight.
Wow.
But man, they were smoking. Right. They're smoking fast. Are you a saddle guy, lock on, ground hunter? What do you like to do?
All of the above. Well, not so much a ground hunter, but now I hunt out of a climber a lot. Hunt out of a saddle, lock on.
Are you mainly in the eastern part of the state, or where you?
I am. Yeah. I'm actually. I grew up in the eastern part of the state. I actually live just right outside of Little Rock now, but I still do the majority of my hunting over there. So
yeah, that's what most people don't know.
A little bit this year.
Yeah, if you're not from Arkansas, it's hard to understand. Like there are parts that are just pines, and you can climb up. 60 feet in a climber, and parts that are just dense, thick oaks, and it's just totally different. And then the Delta is its own thing. So, where you primarily hunt out of a climber? You say?
Well, I do use a climber a lot. That and a saddle are the two most common things that I hunt out of. I still occasionally use a lock on some too, but I would say the climber and saddle for the most part is what I use, most of the time. Yeah.
What saddle are you rocking this year?
Well, it's the same one that I bought here a couple years ago. It's a Dryad with that mini hammock. So it's a Dryad killdeer, and I'm using that mini hammock with it.
Is it really as comfortable as they say?
It's very comfortable. I only had one other saddle, it was Arrow Hunter Kestrel, so it was a big difference in comfort.
Yeah. What broadhead you going to be using this year?
I shoot both fixed and mechanicals, believe it or not. I carry both in my quiver. Started using the iron wheel fixed blades last year. Probably will continue into that with this year. But then my mechanicals, either a Rage or a Mega Meat or probably the T2s. I bought some of those T2s by G5. Probably going to shoot them. But any of them, really.
You have any issues with those iron wheels hitting the same spot as your Rages and stuff like that?
No. Which I'm not shooting those broadheads, at 100 yards either. So the way I look at it, if I'm hunting in an area that's thick, which I do a lot, and I might have a deer come in under me or give me a bad shot angle, I'll use a fixed blade. But at 30 and in, honestly 20 and in probably. But I've shot these out to 40 yards. I don't have any issues with it with my field tips. But I'm not shooting at super long range. If I'm in a more open environment, I'll use mechanical every time.
Yeah, I've had similar results. I shot I can't remember, a Dirt Nap maybe is what the brand. It wasn't a single, but it was a double, but it was a fixed blade, and they hit pretty much the same as my Rages and G5s and all that. So I didn't have an issue. But if you watch YouTube, people are like, "It's impossible. You can't do it." So I don't know. That's why I asked. I just kind of out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Did you kill any deer last year?
I did. Nothing real big. I killed a couple does, shot an 8-point, small 8-point, shot another pretty good deer. He was probably, pushing 130. And I actually had some bad luck on that deer. Ended up not recovering it. It got over on some private ground, and it was just kind of a mess. But anyway.
I kind of wish Arkansas was a right to retrieve state where,
right.
you could go get, I don't know why that's not a thing. I don't know what the holdup on that is, but kind of seems like, you don't want us to waste meat, but at the same time, you're like, no, you go over there, that's wasted. Just not. You public land or private land guy, or both? Or?
Public most of the time. Now, I do have a little bit of private that I hunt occasionally. I actually own a little bit of a 7-acre tract that I'll hunt here and there, but it's 95% public.
Yeah. All right. So the meat of this, and it's kind of what started this, is you had a post about scent control and your method for scent control. And I love talking scent control. And some people, man, it seems like we're all so like against each other, like in their own camp, and nobody will ever concede anything one way or the other. And it just drives me crazy. But you were talking about ScentLok clothes and activated carbon and being able to maybe trick deer and stuff like that. And I think we have very similar beliefs. But I thought it'd be cool to go through like my process, how I deal with my clothes, and then you talk a little bit about yours, and then talk about like it's not all or nothing. And that's what a lot of people are like. I mean, I see so many people online that are like, "Oh, you wear ScentLok? Well, you're an idiot. You can't fool a deer's nose." And it's a lot more complicated question than that. So that's why I thought it'd be good to get two guys on there that have very similar thoughts and just different ways of doing it. But so first and foremost, here's a little bit how I do mine. And I actually brought some props. So when I get my ScentLok clothes in, like I just got 2 suits in yesterday, and I shot with them a little bit just to make sure like I'm not going to hit my arm on the bowstring and everything. They go straight to the dryer after that. Take the tags off, put them in the dryer for 45 minutes. When I get them out of the dryer, what I put them in is, and I made a video about this a long time ago, are these vacuum bags. Like you put them in here, you seal them up, you run your little vacuum on that, and it compresses them down. Like this right here is a pair of bibs. And it's just, it sucks them down to nothing. Then in storm around your house. When I get ready to go hunting, I just throw them in the truck. There's not been any scent on them. I wear gloves when I put them in there. Go hunt. When I get done hunting, I put them in. ScentLok makes those they're like cinch bags, I guess. I consider that like my dirty laundry bag, basically. So I'll put that in there, cinch it up, and then it's got to go back to the dryer when I get home. And then I put them back in these bags, re-vacuum them to get all the air out. So I'm pretty anal about that. Like I don't wear my clothes to the woods, when I get in my truck. When I get out of my truck, I stand on a towel, change it in my ScentLok. It's awkward sometimes when people drive up, but I'm changing clothes when I get there.
So are you recharging every time you hunt? Are you recharging?
Early season, yes, for sure.
Okay. I do more in the early season too.
Yeah, and then in the middle of the season, it kind of depends. If I'm on public and I've got to walk a pretty good ways, I might go ahead and recharge it. If it's private, like I've got some private spots, I'll walk 35 yards, 40 yards from the truck. And if I'm doing that, I probably won't. But I try to. I don't think it hurts them to put them in the dryer for 40 minutes. And I've got so many suits. Realistically, I get, because I'm a weekend warrior, I'm hunting 3 times a weekend: Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, and then that's pretty much it. And so I try to have a fresh suit for each of those hunts. Like early season, I've got a bunch of early season hunt suits because it's just so stinking miserable in Arkansas in September and October, hot. So I just try to have a bunch of suits. I try not to wear the same suit over and over, but I'm really meticulous about it. Now I'm not John Eberhart, like that guy. He's super meticulous, but like I'm pretty crazy about my scent control regimen. So that's kind of how I do it. I don't. What are your thoughts? How do you do it? What's your method? Because you said yours works great. You've had good success with ScentLok and how you use it.
Well, I'm doing a lot of basically the same things you're doing now. One of the things differently that I'm doing as far as storage which it's the same. It's accomplishing the same thing. I'm using sealed totes that have a rubber seal that are airtight, and I actually use their Husky brand. I think I get them at Home Depot. But my clothes stay in those totes year round. I never take them out unless I'm, recharging or hunting with them. So, and I think to me, I think that's a big deal with keeping those clothes or the ScentLok working for you. Cause, you can run it pretty quick if you don't take care of it. So, I'm doing that. And, basically, the same deal. I dress outside the truck, never wear that stuff inside my vehicle. It never comes inside my house unless it's in a sealed tote, or take it out to recharge it in the dryer. Hardly ever do I ever wash it. About the only time it ever gets washed is if I get blood or something all over it, or just get mud all over it. I think that probably cuts down on the effectiveness of how long it's going to last if you're washing it a lot. Basically, I try to be as scent free as possible before I even put my ScentLok on. And I was doing some scent control before I even implemented the ScentLok into it, but it's like it's just taking it to a different level once I've started using the ScentLok on top of it. And I can honestly say that, you just don't pay attention to me anymore. It's crazy, and I know people don't believe that, but you've seen it, I'm sure. I mean, it's just unreal.
Yeah, that's one thing, like you hear John Eberhart talk, and John Eberhart's a wealth of knowledge, but sometimes he's a little abrasive in his approach to like how he tells people about it. Like I wish he kind of like tone it down a little, just because it does come off a little like harsh. But once I started this method, I hadn't been blown at in over 2 years. I'm not saying they're not all, like sometimes they come in and maybe they're a little on edge, but like the stomping, blowing, the woods are blown out. It's been over 2 years. And I used to keep up with, in my phone and my notes, I'd have hunt 1, hunt 2, hunt 3, hunt 4, and I'd go through how many deer I saw at each hunt. Just at the end of the year, I kind of wanted to see, am I seeing more deer now versus years in the past?
Absolutely. So I see the exact same things. I do that same thing, except I'm old school. I keep a paper journal. But yes, I can go back in the years before, and I've only been using ScentLok. This will be my 4th season, which I've been bow hunting over 30 plus years. But as far as, using ScentLok, but it's just, it's unreal how effective it is. But you're exactly right. I see the increase in the deer that I see, quality deer, it's just gone up dramatically. And it's gotta be it's gotta be that, because I'm hunting the same areas. I'm doing the exact same things that I've always done. So it's, the first year that I used it, it was like almost too good to be true. And I was like, maybe it was just a good season, Well, then the second year it was like the same. And then, going into last year, which would have been my 3rd year. And then, it was just unreal. Honestly, and I really tested it last year. I would absolutely set up with the wind blowing to me. And I still didn't get blown at. And had several good deer downwind of me, several of them. I mean, the one I shot that I didn't recover was downwind. And I mean, it's just, it's unreal, if you do it, if you use it the right way. But I think a lot of people get that stuff and they just halfway do it and they don't take care of it. You can't wear it like regular camouflage and just think, well, it's carbon, it's going to take care of me. You got to take care of it.
Yeah, it was probably my 5th year. And my 1st year, I was that typical guy. I wore it in the truck. I didn't wear the head covering. I didn't wear gloves.
That's a big deal, I think, too.
I just wore the pants and the shirt, and I'm like, why is this not, like a magic pill? And it's just not the way it works. So you really got to kind of be a little more meticulous about it. Now, you also use something else in conjunction with that, right? Are you using camo dust? Is that right?
Well, yes, I do. I was actually using camo dust before I bought the ScentLok. And, the camo dust definitely helps. I think that I could probably honestly not even use the camo dust but with the ScentLok and get the same, but I've got camo dust, so I will use it some. And I pretty much use it every hunt, honestly. But I think where the ScentLok goes above and beyond probably with the camo dust is that camo dust is a powder that you have to put it on, so you're not going to get complete full coverage with that stuff like a ScentLok, so I think there's gaps in it. And that's why every now and then sometimes you still get winded, using, other stuff. But
I used it for a year, and like I used what's the vanilla spray nose jammer for a year.
I've never really used cover scents too much.
I tried it. it didn't do much. But I mean, the camo dust, it may have been fine, but I didn't like, hitting myself with a sock every once in a while, But I'm looking for something that, like my boots, like even though my boots, I'm pretty meticulous about them too, not being, I keep them sealed, keep them away from everything until I use them. I have boots that I only use for hunting. I don't scout or anything else in them. But I would like to be able to spray something on them to maybe just let me get to the stand without leaving any more ground scent with them. Even though they're rubber,
I was going to ask you, you are wearing rubber boots, and you're not wearing like leather or nothing. Yeah.
They're rubber snake boots. But I just, they're in my truck. I just kind of wonder, like, am I getting anything else on them that I'm then tracking through the woods? So that's kind of why I asked about like the camo dust or something like that you might be able to even hit your boots with. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that camo dust is really good. You've used it, so I know you know this. It dry. You see how it dries your skin out. So it's really good at like drying moisture up and stuff. But it's good to use like a foot powder. Put it in your boots. Put it on your on your socks, your feet, whatever. And I mean that'll help with that too. And I still use it for that. But yeah, I wear rubber boots, which I'm in the Delta for the most part. So you have to wear rubber boots whether wanted to or not, just for all the water and stuff. But I wash them. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I'll take those rubber boots and put them in the bath, unscented detergent and clean them every once in a while and clean them up and wash them. And I probably do that a few times throughout the season. Everything gets washed. I wash my backpack, on a regular basis. Anything, rope, saddle, any kind of fabric, it's getting washed. And I might have to hand wash it, but I'm going to wash it.
I need to be more meticulous about doing that myself. I need to do that more. That's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something I need to be better at. The last time I used that powder, what's it called? What's the name of it? I know we just talked about it, but the powder
the camo
stuff.
Dust? The
camo dust. Last time I used that, I was in a ground blind with a headlamp, and I was seeing all these particles in the air, and I'm like, man, I'm breathing that in. I don't know if that's good for me or not. So that's why I kind of got to like, I don't know if I'm going to do that in the blind where I'm contained. So that's one of the last times I used it, and it may be fine for you. I don't know. It was just something that went through my head, seeing all them particles in the air, from the powder.
Right. It's supposed to. It's supposed to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fine. It's supposed to be, good or not. It won't hurt you supposedly, but I'm like you. I don't want to breathe it. It's fine dust, and I don't want it all in my lungs.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And not to make this just a ScentLok commercial, because I mean it's not like we're getting paid by them or anything. But they get crapped on a lot. They get crapped on a lot. So it's a good quality camo, whether you believe in the carbon or not. It's cheaper than a lot of the other stuff, and it's just good quality. So it's not like you're, even if you don't care about the carbon, you can still have good camo. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I like about it. So the next,
and they run a lot of sales. That's the thing. They run sales all the time on that stuff.
If you wait till September,
find you a good deal.
If you wait till September, you're going to pay more. But you could buy July 4th. There's always a sale going on. In the spring, there's a ton of sales going on. I buy them and just put them back, and I'll bust them out.
Yeah.
So the next question, and this is where that like the haters hate on ScentLok, is the idea that just because John Eberhart says he wears ScentLok and he can just set up anywhere, he doesn't care about the wind, he doesn't watch the wind, I still play the wind. Like I think of my ScentLok as insurance. Like I'm going to play the wind. I think they're going to do this. Most of the time, they're a wild animal. They don't always do that. They do what they want to do. No. So do you still play the wind? And like, I mean, I know you said sometimes you didn't, you purposely didn't, but like, are you come in with that mindset of like, I think they're going to do this. I'm going to be back here. Or what's your approach to that?
Well, it's kind of evolved, honestly, because the first couple of years that I used it, I still did play the wind. And it was just like I look at it as an insurance deal policy, and I still do. But last year, it was just, honestly, I was just kind of experimenting because I just really wanted to see how far I could push it and just see what I could get away with. And now I do look at the wind a lot in the respect about how a deer is going to use it to work down, say, a ridge or come into a feed tree. I hunt a lot of feed trees, stuff like that. Now I will look at it like, in that aspect, as far as trying to figure out which way the deer may come from. But honestly, after what I saw last year, I'm not going to not hunt a spot if it's the time of the year that I need. I'm more about looking if it's the time of the year I need to be in. I'm not really concerned so much about the wind, because I really, last year it was just a turning point. Now I'm wearing the mask, I'm wearing gloves, and I mean I literally don't use any scented products at all the entire hunting season. I don't wear cologne. I mean I probably go above and beyond what a lot of people do. But I saw the effectiveness of it, or the last 3 years. So, but yeah, no, I honestly I probably won't pay attention to the wind this year. As far as me worried about getting winded, no.
Yeah, I think of all of these things like as a percentage or an odds game. And, if it increases my odds to, like you said, not wear cologne or vacuum seal my clothes, and that way they're not in my truck and just laying around getting scent on them. If it increases my odds, I'm going to do it, even if it's minor. Not wearing.
It's all about percentages, right?
Yeah, they have every advantage. And if we can just move the needle our way a little bit, why wouldn't you? And that's kind of my thoughts on all these, anything scent control, whether, if you're using ozonics, I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. If you think it helps you and if you think it works, and I think it probably does to an extent, use it if you like it, That's just kind of my thoughts on it. And I see a lot of people online talking about you can't fool a deer's nose. You can't trick a deer's nose. Well, obviously, you've stated your opinion that you think you can. Yeah. You have, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, my thoughts on that are a little more like even if I conceded the fact that maybe you'll never truly 100% be not detected, like they might smell you. My theory on it is they're smelling you. They're a prey animal, so they're smelling like okay, there was somebody here, but it's been hours and hours ago because the scent has diffused. Exactly. It's not very strong, so I'm okay. I'm going to come on into this. But if the goal is just like they never smell you, and then maybe you can. I don't know, but from what I've seen, it is kind of like maybe they smell your ground scent a little, but it's so small of a percentage that they're like, I'll come on in. He's gone. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Have you seen anything?
Absolutely.
Like that?
That's exactly why I try to describe it to people. Because here's the thing, and I'll say this, and I'm sure you're going to agree with this because you've seen it. But I hunt public land, and I'm sure you do as well. But we're always looking for a place where there's no pressure. Well, there's no place like that. Those are non-existent on public land. There is somebody walking around, whether it be a squirrel hunter with dogs, somebody out there scouting, deer hunters. There's people in the woods all the time. Now, granted, there are places where there might not be as much human traffic, but if a mature deer didn't ever move every time he smelled some human scent, he would never move, because they always come across human scent. But it's like you're saying, it's the strength. That's how they gauge it, whether they're safe to come through there or not. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's how I try to tell people that are against it, or I say against it. They don't believe in it, and it's all about lessening your scent signature. Is what way I look at it. And I'll tell you something else that I've noticed, and I'm sure it'd be interesting to see if you say the same thing. But I've noticed too, since I've started using this, that if a deer does look up at me, they typically don't even really pay attention to me. And like when they come in to like an acorn tree or something to feed, you can just tell they're at ease, a lot more at ease. And that was even when I was still doing scent control, but I wasn't using ScentLok. So I know that it's working in that aspect, because it lets you get away from a lot, and at least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, we used to have a trail camera video. I wish I still had it, but we had a camera on some like food. I don't know what we were pouring out there, but it's been years and years ago. And a coyote comes up and pees on the food, and just totally marks that food as his territory. I don't remember if it was rice bran, corn, something. And then this buck comes up, big, probably the biggest buck on the farm. And he gets in video, camera's in video mode. So a little while later, buck comes up. He gets up, sniffs that, and bolts. He is out of there. He is freaked out. A couple days later, he's brought back in there eating. It was as clear as day that okay, there was something here very recently. I'm out of here. A couple days later, it's like, all right, there may have been a coyote here, but he's not here right now. He's long gone. We're gonna eat. We're gonna be good.
Exactly.
So I think the idea of tricking a deer, they like to say, oh, they've got this many receptors and stuff, but their brain is not wired to like how ours is. Their brain is more wired to, is this area safe right now? Can I come in here right now and not get eaten by an animal or killed by a human? And there's videos out there. You've probably seen them. I think it was Hunting Public. It may have been Seek One. One of these bigger name guys did where the dog, that police dog, and they hid. They use different scent stuff, and they hid them under a box. Have you seen that video?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they're like, and basically at the end of the video, they're just like, well, you can't fool a deer's nose because this dog you couldn't fool him, and deer have more receptors than the dog did. So something like that. And I'm just screaming at the TV, like, those are two different mentalities. The deer,
exactly.
The deer is just trying to survive and assess, time when this was here. The dog is like, I'm going to track this human or whatever it is, whether it's been 1 day, 10 days, a month, I'm going to try to track it. And that's just two different objectives. So I hate that test. I hate when they show that video. Too. It just makes me scream. And then how many people watch that and go, yep, I guess they're right. You'll never fool a deer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I've had that discussion a lot with people. And I used to have hunting dogs. I used to have coon hounds and stuff, and I competition hunted. And, a dog works off a reward basis. So, I mean, when you're training, say, a pup, and he's smelling scent, he takes it further, until he finally trees that one day. Well, his reward is the coon. You shoot it out, you let him chew on it. And that's the way those police dogs are, except they're just using balls or whatever it is they use for a reward. So they're working, all they want is that ball. And that's what they're working off of. And you're exactly right. They're trying to seek more scent every time. And a deer doesn't operate like that. But, like you said, people hear that or they see those videos and they think, well, like you said, a deer can smell supposedly a lot better than a dog. So you're never going to beat him. You can't beat a dog. You're sure not going to beat the deer, but that's just not how that works.
Yeah. And when I first started deer hunting, bow hunting specifically, an old guy told me, he said, you never beat a deer's nose, mature buck, you'll never beat their nose, you never trick them. He said, and they always walk into the wind when they approach food or whatever. And I'm like, well, then why even go? Like, because you're never going to beat them. They always come into the wind, and you're never going to beat the scent. So I might as well stay home, But so people say stuff like that, but then it's like, well, how are all these getting killed every year? There's hundreds killed every year, in the state of Arkansas and thousands across the country, if that's the case. So it's just things like that kind of irk me, I guess. And I hope, if nothing else, somebody watches this and go, oh, I had never thought about that. So I don't want it to be just a commercial for ScentLok or anything, but I do, if it works, I think people need to know about it, so they can be successful.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I push it I push it. I really don't push it, but I make posts occasionally about it. And it's almost taboo to even talk about it. It's just so crazy to me. But I think a lot of it is, they don't have a lot of really good spokespeople out there for it. John comes across as, like you said, abrasive sometimes. And a lot of people don't really, let's be honest, they just don't care for him. So, but I've seen firsthand how it works, as you have, and other guys too. So it's well worth using it. But the thing about the deer coming in, like you were talking about just a minute ago, that guy, and he's right in that respect, that they do come into the wind a lot. I see that a lot over there where I hunt, especially if they're coming to like a feed tree or a scrape or something. That's another perfect reason to use this, because if you were to set up with the wind in your favor, how are you going to keep that deer from swinging downwind of you? There's no way in those big river bottom woods. Occasionally you'll get spots where there may be water where they physically can't get downwind of you, but 9 times out of 10 they're going to get downwind of you. And not to mention the wind swirls. I don't know, where you hunt how the wind does, but where I hunt, it changes 10 times and I see it. So playing the wind is kind of, I try to play, I used to, and but it's going to change. There's no way to keep it from changing.
Yeah,
so and you'd have to move, a lot in a hunt if you were going to do that.
Yeah, I hunt the Ozark Mountains a lot. I hunt the Delta a lot. I'm kind of there's no way you win. Like, the wind is going to if the weatherman says it's out of the south, it's going to be more southeast or east, depending on the way it's hitting the mountains. And then you get the thermals up and down, and it's like you're never going to win. It changes so much. No. It's like, once we committed to a ScentLok regimen and being meticulous about our scent control, the number of deer we've shot, we've had seasons we tag out up there, which we never did.
Right.
So, I
That
mean,
speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but I mean, there would be somebody that'll say, well, that's, other factors probably. And maybe they're part of it, but I guarantee you we see more deer. We do not get blown
Oh,
out.
absolutely.
So,
and that's what I tell people that I talk to some privately or whatever, if I make a post like I have on the page, and I'll have people message me about it. And I tell them that I said, keep you a journal and see what you've seen before. And then, get your ScentLok and then see. And I guarantee you there's going to be a huge uptick in the amount of deer you see.
Yeah, if people are brutally honest and reflecting on like, okay, did I actually do everything I was supposed to with my suit? But did I get it? Did I put it in the dryer, wash it in the dryer? Did I not touch it until I got to my spot? And people be like, well, I put it on the truck, drove to Casey's, grabbed a pizza, and then went out to the spot, and then I got blown out. This ScentLok isn't very good. I hate when people do that.
Right.
So you got, and I mean, it's not a cure-all. It's not a 100% fix everything, but it does help you. It helps your odds. So I think that's
absolutely.
So I know you got stuff to do. You got family. You got stuff going on. So what are the things you got going on in this time of year? Like what are you doing preparing for deer season? We're a couple months out. It's only going to be 100 degrees the next couple of days.
Oh, so. I know. I know. It's horrible. We're actually leaving after going on vacation, so I'm kind of glad of that. I saw how bad hot it's going to be, but basically just shooting my bow, practicing. I haven't got up in a tree yet and practiced. I like to do that a little bit, especially my saddle and stuff. So probably we'll start doing that pretty quick. But yeah, I've got a few trail cameras out. I got this new velvet hunt, which I started last year, and I'm hoping to be able to tag a pretty good velvet deer. I've, of course, never killed one in velvet, so that's kind of. I came pretty close last year and just had a little bit of bad luck, but I'm hoping this year that I can make it happen. I've got a few cameras out already, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year, close, but didn't get it done. Have you ever thought about going to Tennessee for they have like an August, like a true velvet hunt?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've never done it. Had kind of thought about it, but I think it's a lot of private. I don't know if there's any, you'd have to knock on doors, I'm sure, to try to find something to hunt, but maybe not. Maybe there's some public over there.
I looked into it this past couple of years. This year I looked at it pretty hard, but it kind of it's fairly expensive, and it's like,
is it?
How often am I going to go? So it kind of just goes. Man, I think my weekend would be better spent in Arkansas, getting ready for my season. Scouting the deer that I might actually get to hunt. So, well, man, I appreciate you jumping on here and getting to talk to me. It's been fun. Sure. I do want to get on again and talk about these feed trees because
absolutely,
that's something I'm interested in, and I don't know anything about it. So that would be a lot different than this, where I feel like we both know a lot about the content, but when it comes to feed trees, like I'm just going to be taking notes. So we got to do that. We got to do that again.
We can definitely talk about it.
Absolutely, sure. Man. I appreciate you getting on here and talking to me. Hopefully, we help some people out, and they'll have a better season this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so.
All right, man. Appreciate it.